For over 15 years, Gallup Funeral Services Incorporated has been a beacon of light, guiding local families through difficult times. Gallup Funeral Services Incorporated proudly provides all families with compassionate choices for professional funeral care at reasonable prices. Get the answers you need 24 hours a day. No answering services, hidden costs, add-on fees, confusing fine print, or the scary-looking contract. Remember, Gallup Funeral Services owns and operates the only crematory in Dare County, keeping our cremations affordable and convenient. Gallup Memorial Chapel in Bargo, North Carolina is now open and minutes from Moyock and Elizabeth City. From traditional church services and graveside burials to direct cremations and advanced planning, let Gallup Funeral Services Incorporated light the way for your family. Don't be pressured or confused by the other funeral homes. It's always your choice. Choose Gallup Funeral Services Incorporated. Call Courtney at 252-216-8030 to get a plan started today and visit our new website at gallupfuneralservices.com.
To all who come to this happy place, welcome.
News team, assemble!
Joining us live, because if you want to know anything about the Outer Banks, Sam Walker's the dude to fill you in.
The sea was angry that day, my friends. Like an old man trying to send back soup in a deli.
Always appreciate talking to you.
Always good stuff with Sam Walker in the Outer Banks.
Now here's Les Nessman and the news.
And good morning, everyone. It is OBX Today for Monday, November the 8th, 2021. I'm Sam Walker. Glad you're along with us here on the OBX Today Facebook page and the Sam Walker OBX YouTube channel. And obviously the weather is our top story. Has been all weekend. Looks like it's going to be for the next couple of days around here, as we are dealing with a nor'easter of epic proportions. Probably one of the worst we've seen in a couple of years anyway, as far as nor'easters go. Obviously, Hurricane Dorian would be the last time we had problems of this magnitude in terms of the sheer scope of it, not to the severity of Dorian, obviously. But it's been a couple of years, almost 2 years now, where we've seen a nor'easter like this one. And it's going to be around today and into tomorrow as far as the waves go. The winds have dropped off quite a bit since yesterday's peak and Saturday night, Sunday morning's peak. And it looks like, though, we are still going to have a couple more high tide cycles. They're going to be pretty rough. In fact, this morning's high tide is going to be the highest we've seen throughout the storm. We'll get to all that in just a second. Let's get you caught up on what's going on as far as the closings. Highway 12 remains closed on Hatteras Island and is going to remain closed on Hatteras Island at least probably till tomorrow afternoon at the earliest. And I want to switch over right now to what we've got up at obxtoday.com at the moment, because there is quite a bit, some great photos, not only from OBX, we've got them at OBX Today, but also at our friends down at the Island Free Press this morning. They've got great photos from over in Hatteras Island. Here's how things look right now, or did look yesterday. That was yesterday morning at Merlot Beach, how things were looking as far as the overwash goes. Here's even some more photos yesterday morning from Dare County Emergency Management. You can see the breach right there. This coming in at the S-turns just north of Merlot Beach. That breach there as expected. Here is some video from yesterday. Mark Sudduth with HurricaneTrack.com. He's got some pretty cool video. He's down there right now with quite a few other folks. Here is how that video looked at Rodanthe Pier yesterday. You can hear that wind whipping as well. So that's how things looked yesterday at Rodanthe Pier at the peak. This is also from Mark Sudduth at Hurricane Track of some of the flooding on the sound side yesterday in Hatteras Village last night. That's Sunny's over the top, and there's North Hatteras Harbor down there. That's the water blowing through Hatteras Village last night at high tide. Well, that wasn't even high tide. Here's how things looked at Peter Vankevich from the Ocracoke Observer on Widgeon Woods Road in Ocracoke. About a foot of water in Ocracoke from the sound side. And it's just a view of some of the stuff from yesterday. And we expect to see more of that today as things have continued to blow, continue to get that onshore flow, continue to get those waves on Highway 12. Actually, I'm going to switch over now to the Island Free Press. Here's what they've got for some of the photos from the weekend. They're in Rodanthe at high tide yesterday morning. Lori Douglas from OBXphotographers.com with those photos of a couple of the houses that are right around the Rodanthe Pier area. And in fact, one of our live shots, the mist or the salt spray has really got our cameras all covered up. We'll get you a live look there in just a little bit. But here's how things looked yesterday at Rodanthe Pier. Here's a photo from Don Bowers down in Buxton. That is, was that Tower Road? So, yeah, right along the ocean front. So where the Highway 12 curves down from going south to going west into Buxton. This is those neighborhoods right along the ocean front to the north of the lighthouse. This is from, again, Don Bowers at with islandfreepress.org yesterday morning. Here's how things looked at Eagle Pass Road in Hatteras Village midday yesterday. That's just some of the photos up at islandfreepress.org from yesterday for you to take a look there. And we got some of that at obxtoday.com. And again, there was photos from Peter Vankevich down at Ocracoke Observer, again from his neighborhood. Really not much else I can show you as far as the NCDOT cameras. They're all down. Live view from, or a short time ago, the view coming in from Hatteras Village. Or at the ferry dock. The ferries are not running this morning because of the winds. In fact, it looks like all the ferries are not running down to Ocracoke. So Ocracoke right now is cut off, but as you can see, parking lot's empty for obvious reasons, because both you got people just can't get down there, but also because of the winds out on the Pamlico Sound. So I talked about a moment ago what we're dealing with the flooding. Here is the tide gauge at Duck yesterday. You can see it peaked just above in the major flood stage yesterday with the morning high tide. The high tide prediction for this morning is expected to be higher than yesterday. We've got the new moon. We've got a king tide from that new moon. We just had the new moon, on Thursday night was a new moon. We've got the situation with the onshore flow, obviously. But with that new moon, that means their tides are higher than normal. And this morning's high tide, which is coming up in the next 2 hours, high tide at Oregon Inlet's just after 10 o'clock. So between now and, say, 1 o'clock this afternoon is going to be our peak water just from the tides, and then throw on top all the wind surge, the wind blow that has happened, and it continues with that fetch on the ocean side. That's going to bring us an even higher tide. And this says around, let's see if I can get this. Yeah, observed was at like 3 feet. But that's above ground. But then the mean low water is what they'll use as the measurement for the records, because the way the records are done. Yesterday we hit, what was that? I've got it in my story. 6.87 feet. It's going to top 7 feet. That was the fourth highest tide on record Sunday morning right here. This is the fourth highest right here. Today we may top that. So it could be one of the highest ever recorded tides, high tides at Duck Pier today, coming up here in the next couple of hours. So that means we've still got a lot of water that's going to be coming in. Here is from windy.com. This shows you the actual storm system itself. The center is out about halfway between Hatteras and Bermuda right now. Obviously, we've been on the west side of it, and you can see the hardest of winds that we had yesterday just offshore now. That's good news, but we still got the north flow coming in the north, almost a north, little bit of a northwest component to it now, which is going to exacerbate, or is going to keep the water up. Now, the winds aren't nearly where they were yesterday, as we can tell. And we've cleared out. It's a nice and sunny day out there, but we're still going to be dealing with this northerly flow for the next couple of days. And that's going to keep the ocean angry. That's also keeping that water pushed down out of the sounds. I want to go to show you where we were showing earlier how things looked down in Hatteras Village. There's Avon right now. Here's how things look up here in Currituck County on the Currituck Sound up here off my house. This is how things look this morning. And there is almost no water in the sound right now up on this end. All that water has been pushed out. This was from just before sunrise this morning. And you can see that's that shoal right there. We're out off the end of the point here at my house. And you know, I knew there's some shallow water out there, but I didn't realize how shallow it was till we saw it this morning. And we're walking around out there. And you can walk out probably, all the way into my dock and past my dock and not even get your feet wet. There's my son, James, getting some photos there. And you see all the stumps and all that have been exposed. So that's how things look up here. Well, that's where all the water came from. That is now down in Frisco and Hatteras Village and Ocracoke. And that water is going to be around it's going to be down that way at least today and into tomorrow. Maybe by Wednesday we'll start seeing it. But it'll slowly start receding. We're going to go back to some of the other video from Twitter that's been popped up. Ryan Mieres, who's an assistant professor of coastal engineering at UNC Wilmington, he's down on Hatteras Island. We talked about Mark Sudduth. He's down there as well. Here was some more of the video yesterday morning that Mark got at P Island at the Visitor Center. He's got a camera that's set up there, a remote camera, a Nest camera that he's set up on P Island. Yeah, that is. So he's got one of those. He puts these cameras out up and down whenever a storm is threatening and does this hurricanes. He does an amazing job. He got some awesome video of storm surge on Lake Pontchartrain earlier this year from that big hurricane down there, Ida. And so we're going to get up with Mark today and try to have him on the show tomorrow to talk about what he saw and his experience down there. He's still down in Hatteras Village. But that was from yesterday at the P Island Visitor Center. Let's see. Here is Ryan driving on Highway 12 yesterday morning before sunrise, driving up P Island. And, I don't know how it is kind of blurry, but how much sand is blowing across the road. That was the other issue. Not only is it the water that's pushed the sand over, but it's also the amount of sand that's been blown over as the dunes were being blown yesterday. Here's from Rodanthe Pier Saturday night. Let's see. He's got a piece of equipment that's mounted to the pier there called LiDAR to help him with some of the research he does at UNC Wilmington. So he's just circling that for us on the screen there. But that shows you how things look Saturday night, early Sunday. That was Saturday night at Rodanthe Pier. Here they are. Mark and Ryan out setting up some of their equipment yesterday, on Saturday night rather. show you some of the gear that they're using to track all this surge. Science. One thing about these coastal storms, and it's great too that we're going to try to get an update from the Corps of Engineers because they have some equipment that was set up on Pea Island specifically for this reason. Here's some more video that Ryan got in Hatteras Village yesterday, Saturday night, from in front of Sonny's there in Hatteras Village. All right, so there's just some of the stuff we got for you at obxtoday.com. There's Merlot Beach. This was at low tide yesterday. There's Ryan out there. Oh, wow. There you go. There's a great example, if you've never been here when we get a blow like this, of what the sand looks like. It's like people talk about the snow, and the sand is blowing right down Highway 12 at Merlot on Saturday. Some cool stuff. Better than, honestly, I did not want to get down there and get trapped in this one. So we decided to stay on our side of the bridge for this storm and not get caught down there with it. All right, there's a live shot from Avon this morning. You can see how big the waves are. We'll switch it over to the Rodanthe camera. This is a different view from what we have been using, and you can see all the salt spray. This camera is just south of the Rodanthe Pier. So you saw the photos that we had earlier up from, who was that? Those photos from Island Free Press had posted up. Let me get her, make sure I get Lori Douglas at obxphotographers.com. The photos that she has on Island Free Press right now are from the area where this camera is set up. That's looking south right now, obviously. We're going to stay with it until it looks back north. Actually, we'll switch over to the Hatteras. I do want to show this because it shows you the difference between we talk about this all the time, and you'll see it all the time here on the show, where the difference between the northern beaches and the east facing beaches, and then so there's Avon right now, there's Hatteras right now. Look how clean that surf is off Hatteras Village. And that offshore wind is just cleaning it right up. But there's some pretty big swells. And one thing about these swells is even though the size of the swells did drop a little bit yesterday afternoon, it was the period. It was the amount of time between the waves, between the difference between one breaking wave and the next one. That had really come up. Brett Barley did a great job over on his Facebook page. And we shared it on the OBX Today Facebook page. Of just some of what that period and what was expected yesterday. Let's see if I can get Brett's page to pull up here because I wanted to show you that as well. But Brett Barley, who of course is a professional surfer, Buxton native, and it's got some great YouTube content. Oh, he's got something new up here. Okay, let's see here. I'm going to pull up his post. He is, let's see, looking at the buoys right now, the offshore buoy off of Buxton. Diamond. Well, I think this would be the Diamond Shoals buoy. What I'm looking at. Oh, this is the Oregon Inlet buoy. 44095. Yeah, that's the buoy off Oregon Inlet. Let me get the display back up here for you so you can take a look at this. So there's the numbers on the buoy off Oregon Inlet. 14 feet at 5:30 this morning. So you can see the wave heights actually have gone back up. It was 15 feet last night at around 10:30, and 16 feet between 7 and 9 last night. So early this morning at 14 feet. That was the Oregon Inlet buoy. Let's see. The buoy off Buxton at 5:30 this morning, 14 feet. Looks like its peak was 16.4 yesterday afternoon, just before 6 p.m. And then there's kind of what the forecast models look like as far as the storm system. Still right on the edge of the component of the heaviest of winds and surf. The winds have dropped off dramatically and are going to drop off later today. It looks like tonight we'll start seeing things. We're going to still be in the 30s today, and then drop off into the 20s tonight and tomorrow. So that was some of the stuff that Brett had put together on his Facebook page. He had some of the tidal predictions up there as well. That's just winds. Okay. But we have the peak winds so far. 65 miles an hour is the strongest gust that's been recorded, according off the weather flow sensor that is at Jeanette's Pier. That was the highest wind so far. I'm going to jump up to Corolla real quick because we haven't really shown that one. Here's the look from Corolla this morning, courtesy of Twitty & Company and their camera set up on one of their properties up there. The Corolla light camera is just totally, it needs to be a good wipe down. And most of the cameras that we use they're that situation for obvious reasons because of the salt spray that we've gotten. So you're going to get out there with the squeegee and clean them off. But there's a view from Corolla, Hatteras Village, Avon, and then Rodanthe. I'm hoping this will sweep back over to the right a little bit farther. There was one house that you could see just to the right, and then we'll go back. It'll go back to the Rodanthe Pier. So there's some of what the situation looks like this morning. We got more coming up here as we scour the internet and find more video and photos. Folks posting stuff already this morning. But again, coming up in about 3 or 4 hours is really when we're going to see the worst, the tide. The waves may not be as, well, they're still going to be pretty big. The winds won't be nearly as bad with this next high tide cycle, but we're still going to be dealing with the high tide coming up around lunch today. And so we know we'll have more stuff to show you as the day goes on at obxtoday.com. Stay where you're at. We'll be back with more here on OBX Today.
For over 15 years, Gallup Funeral Services Incorporated has been a beacon of light, guiding local families through difficult times. Gallup Funeral Services Incorporated proudly provides all families with compassionate choices for professional funeral care at reasonable prices. Get the answers you need 24 hours a day. No answering services, hidden costs, add-on fees, confusing fine print, or those scary-looking contracts. Remember, Gallup Funeral Services owns and operates the only crematory in Dare County, keeping our cremations affordable and convenient. Gallup Memorial Chapel in Bargo, North Carolina is now open and minutes from Moyock and Elizabeth City. From traditional church services and graveside burials to direct cremations and advanced planning, let Gallup Funeral Services Incorporated light the way for your family. Don't be pressured or confused by the other funeral homes. It's always your choice. Choose Gallup Funeral Services Incorporated. Call Courtney at 252-216-8030 to get a plan started today and visit our new website at gallupfuneralservices.com.
When everybody's healthy in a community, you have a more productive community. We assess all our patients for mental health needs. We make referrals to mental health providers, and then in turn we can provide free medications, all the mental health medications they need through a grant that we have. With screening and preventive care, adults that are 45 and over, it's recommended that they have some type of colon cancer screening. And we do offer that to any of our patients 45 and over. We also refer all of our female patients to the health department for mammography. We collaborate with many, many local entities. We work closely with the Outer Banks Hospital and their Center for Healthy Living. We have partnerships with imaging centers where we can help people get affordable MRIs, CTs, specialist care, surgeries, x-rays. We do all our own lab work in-house. And we are focusing on patients with uncontrolled diabetes, working in a partnership also with the Beach Food Pantry to get healthy food choices and really spend time educating those patients about diabetes, the foods, and exercise. So really the sky's the limit, and we will find a way to get you access and make it for a healthier tomorrow.
I'm back here on OBX Today on the OBX Today Facebook page and the Sam Walker OBX YouTube channel this Monday morning. You know what? We got a tropical weather update because, and I've gotten some questions about this. Going to have a better explanation of it for you later on today at OBX Today. What is going on with this storm and why does it not have a name? Well, science says it's not actually a tropical storm, or tropical system, but it could become one. The 5-day graphical tropical weather outlook right now, notice Wanda's gone after sprinting off towards Scotland, finally over the weekend, and losing tropical characteristics. This is what would be considered a cold core low pressure system that we've got. And that's dumbing it down a lot, honestly, breaking it down into simple terms. But it could actually take on tropical characteristics as it gets out. And again, the center of circulation with this low is halfway between us and Bermuda. It's going to get out into the Atlantic, and the Atlantic still with these relatively warm water temperatures. There is a potential for this system to actually take on tropical characteristics by the end of the week. So we could actually see this thing become the first name on the list with the secondary list, the backup list, the auxiliary list of names, because Wanda was the last named storm of this year. And Wanda has since dissipated now or become a non-tropical system. I am going to drop this back out because there's that house. Yeah, you can barely see off the edge how much the waves are breaking right up under that one house south around Anthe Pier. This camera should swing back over to Anthe Pier in just a moment, and we'll try to grab that for you when it does. So the latest from the National Hurricane Center is that this storm could become tropical in the next 5 days. It's only got, let's see, but it's a non-tropical low right now. And according to the 5-day forecast, the non-tropical low pressure system with storm force winds a couple hundred miles east to southeast of Cape Hatteras system is forecast to move east-northeastward during the next several days, and it could lose its frontal characteristics by midweek over the subtropical Atlantic Ocean. By early this weekend, a low could acquire some subtropical characteristics while it moves eastward over the open waters of central Atlantic. So what you've got here is the combination of the low pressure that formed up on a front. Because it was part of a cold front, it doesn't get classified as a tropical system or even a subtropical system. It is non-tropical. But as it gets farther away and kind of decouples, separates from the tropical or from this non-tropical weather system, it could actually become, now it's only a 20% chance right now. That's why it's yellow out there. 20% chance that this could become Adria, which would be the first name on the auxiliary list. This year is the first year that the World Meteorological Organization and National Hurricane Center went with a list of names, alternate names, rather than using a Greek alphabet, as was done last year and in 2005, the only other 2 times that we ran out of names on the list of hurricane and tropical storm names. So again, what is this system right now is non-tropical. It's a nor'easter, but as it moves to the northeast over the next 5 days, by the weekend, it could become a subtropical system. This system's doing things that normally nor'easters, we know, will ride up the Gulf Stream and run right up the East Coast. This one is moving much slower, which is not atypical for some of these nor'easters, for some of these coastal lows. But the last few we've seen have been moving relatively fast for us and then gotten up off of New England and done damage, like the one that eventually became Wanda 3 weeks ago on the Massachusetts coast. This one is doing more of a typical, just eastward track, typical in terms of one that's going to be around for a while and cause us all kinds of headaches, and that's what's happening there. So, again, there's a tropical update. That's the only thing we got to look at with 3 weeks to go in the season. We're probably not going to see anything else. It really looks like things are have been cut off as far as the tropical weather situation goes. All right, of course, we've talked all about what's going on with this system and what's been going on Hatteras Island. Wanted to give you an update really about what's going on elsewhere here on the Outer Banks, because we do have impacts from the system that are causing some scheduling issues and such. Cape Hatteras schools, by the way, were closed today, which made sense because the way the island is right now. No driving off the beaches of Kill Hills and Nags Head until the conditions improve. That's standard. Dare County Public Works will not be collecting trash today in Kitty Hawk or the unincorporated areas of Dare County today. They postponed that. They have updated their schedule. We've got it for you at obxtoday.com. But tomorrow and Thursday, the plan is for Kitty Hawk, Collington, Buxton, Frisco, and Hatteras Village. Wednesday and Friday will be Roanoke Island and the Dare County mainland, along with Rodanthe Way, Salvo, and Avon. Commercial pickup will be Tuesday and Friday throughout Dare County as far as what Public Works handles. In town in Nags Head, they just sent an email that they updated. Let me pull that up because that is a new update from them as far as the bulk trash. Let's see. Oh, okay. That was just an update on the bulk situation. Oh, yeah. Bulk collections have been delayed because of the weather conditions for Nags Head. And we'll get you some more updates on that at obxtoday.com because that just came over. But they did ask that folks wait. Nags Head is pushing their trash collection to Tuesday and Friday for residential. So don't roll your cans out until late tonight because the winds are still up. They don't want the cans blowing around. That's the main reason they're doing that. So that's the latest there as far as the trash collection goes. And that's really all. We haven't had any reports up north on the North Beaches of really any overwash. There was concerns we might see that. Water has been rushed up to the dunes. But again, with the highest tide expected today here, with this high tide coming up, we might see some with the high tide midday. Thankfully, the winds have backed down a little bit, but the wave heights are still up, and the tides are going to be their highest of the system coming up here with this high tide that we're just about ready to get to in the next 3 to 4 hours. So keep that in mind. But there was concern about some water coming up on Beach Road around Jockey's Ridge in the Cottage Row area, and also in South Nags Head. That still could occur with this high tide that we're coming up on in about 4 hours. All right, we are going to step aside again and come back with more here on OBX Today, so stay with us.
For over 15 years, Gallup Funeral Services Incorporated has been a beacon of light, guiding local families through difficult times. Gallup Funeral Services Incorporated proudly provides all families with compassionate choices for professional funeral care at reasonable prices. Get the answers you need 24 hours a day. No answering services, hidden costs, add-on fees, confusing fine print, or those scary-looking contracts. Remember, Gallup Funeral Services owns and operates the only crematory in Dare County, keeping our cremations affordable and convenient. Gallup Memorial Chapel in Bargo, North Carolina is now open and minutes from Moyock and Elizabeth City. From traditional church services and graveside burials to direct cremations and advanced planning, let Gallup Funeral Services Incorporated light the way for your family. Don't be pressured or confused by the other funeral homes. It's always your choice. Choose Gallup Funeral Services Incorporated. Call Courtney at 252-216-8030 to get a plan started today, and visit our new website at gallupfuneralservices.com.
This week's Champion for Children is brought to you by Children and Youth Partnership for Dare County, helping families thrive. Jean Louise Dixon, Director of the Hatteras Island Youth Education Fund, has been identified as a champion for children. Can you tell us a little about what you do to help children, youth, and families thrive in our community?
My name is Jean Louise Dixon, also known as Scout Dixon, and my husband and I moved to Hatteras Island in 1993. I am serving as the director of the Hatteras Island Youth Education Fund, which is a nonprofit charitable foundation that I established in 2010. I am also serving as the secretary of the Outer Banks Community Foundation and currently the chair for the scholarship committee. We raised 3 sons here, and when they first started school, I quickly realized that teachers in rural areas like this one cannot depend upon fall festivals to raise funds for projects, school supplies, or field trips. We do not have the population to fill the stands at athletic events to provide much funding for our booster club. The Hatteras Island Youth Education Fund supports the educational needs of elementary and secondary students by providing funding for equipment, material, and experiences that would not otherwise be available to these students through public funding. Teachers on Hatteras Island have an opportunity twice a year to submit their applications to our board. Our board is comprised of local community members. You can find a complete list of the grants awarded to date to our teachers on our website, hatteраsyouth.com. But to date, we have distributed over $436,000. A few grants to note. We purchased in 2011 the band uniforms for the first time ever for our marching band. We built a research pier behind the secondary school. We have supported the math competitions and the travel expenses for those competitions. We have paid for the DECA competitions, the supplies and the travel expenses for Science Olympiad. We have sponsored the University of North Carolina Destiny Science Lab bus several years to come down to our school. We have also sponsored a visit from the Moorhead Planetarium bus. So that's just a few of the grants that we've awarded to date. To be sustainable, we have 2 annual events. The Shore Break 5K and Tide Pool Fun Run is every Memorial Day in Avon, and then the Surf and Turkey 5K is held on Thanksgiving morning in Hatteras Village. I do want to say I greatly appreciate your recognition of my service to our community, but I must say that it is the volunteers that have supported HIF over all these years that have enabled us to achieve success. So thank you very much.
Do you have anything special coming up that you'd like the community to know about?
Absolutely. The Surf and Turkey 5K and Puppy Drum Run is going to be held on Thanksgiving morning at 8 a.m. in Hatteras Village, and we would greatly appreciate your support. When you register for the race, now you can walk or you can run, you can bring your pet, and you can dress up if you want. You can join one of the teacher teams, and the teacher with the most registrations will receive $500 for classroom supplies. So thank you very much, and we hope to see you out there.
If people want to get involved with the Hatteras Island Youth Education Fund, what should they do?
They can go to our website at hatteраsyouth.com or friend us on Facebook.
If you would like to nominate a person or group to be a champion for children, please contact CYP at 252-441-0614.
All right, back here on OBX Today Live on the OBX Today Facebook page and Sam Walker OBX YouTube channel. Tomorrow, the Outer Banks Association of Realtors holds its annual Realtor Fest Expo from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. at the RC Movie Theater in Kill Double Hills. The event is open to the public and features almost 30 vendors, 13 presentations, with 20 presenters that cover a wide variety of topics, including Google tips and tricks, to security inside and outside of your home, and much more. World-renowned motivational speaker Mark Given is kicking off the event. With his keynote presentation, You Can Do Hard Things. Vendors include businesses ranging from insurance agencies and mortgage lenders to roofing contractors and charcuterie catering. You may even have your flood insurance documents reviewed by OBAR CEO Willow Kelly to see where you may be able to save some money. Many of the vendors will be giving away door prizes throughout the day, so make sure you bring your business cards. Registration is $35 for OBAR members, $50 for non-members. It includes vendor time, presentations, a box lunch from Joanne at Cafe Lachine Catering, popcorn, a drink, and a raffle ticket. Raffle prizes include an OBAR swag kit, a Realtor.com swag bag, including a Rocket book, and tumblers, and an Oneida portable barbecue grill, a Yeti Hopper M30. In addition to those raffle prizes, there's a grand prize of a $500 gift card that will be awarded at the end of the day, and you must be present to win any and all the prizes. If you'd like to register, you can contact Leah Holmes, who is the Communications and Marketing Director for OBAR, at 489-1480, or shoot her an email at Leah, Leah, at OuterBanksRealtors.com. And if you go on the Real Estate Roundup at OBXToday.com, you can get more details. It's the 2021 Realtor Fest tomorrow at the RC Killable Hills Movie Theater from 9 a.m. until 4 p.m. Let's see. Well, we're winding down, just making sure we don't have any new information to pass along right now. But again, the latest update for those of you just joining us this morning here on OBX Today Live, Highway 12 remains closed because of sand that's been pushed on the road for the last several high tides. Another high tide cycle coming up at around lunchtime today. That's going to probably cause more issues. That's expected again for tonight's high tide, which is near midnight. So it looks like it may be tomorrow at some point, tomorrow afternoon, maybe a conservative estimate, maybe tomorrow evening when Highway 12 will reopen on Hatteras Island. Dune breaches have been reported at several spots. There's several feet of water, sand on the road between Oregon Inlet and Rodanthe. Also overwash, at Buxton at the motels. And then we've got some soundside flooding that's happened from Frisco, Hatteras, and in Ocracoke. Just minor soundside flooding. I mean, minor's a foot, 2 feet at some bad spots, but mostly about a foot from what we understand. We need some more information as the day goes on. Of course, we'll update you at obxtoday.com. Let's see. A couple of things that came out in case you missed it. News Observer's got a story this morning regarding what the Biden infrastructure plan is going to mean for North Carolina. Some of the things that are going to be coming to North Carolina: $7.2 billion for highway programs, another $457 million for bridge replacement and repairs through congressional funding formulas. The White House said North Carolina also could get $911 million to improve public transit options. The state could be receiving up to $109 million over the next 5 years to expand an electric vehicle charging network, while the state can apply for some of the $2.5 billion in grant funding for charging that's currently included in the bill. $100 million to provide more broadband coverage, according to the White House. That figure could help at least 424,000 North Carolina residents who lack internet access to receive it. More than 30% of the people in the state would be eligible for a benefit that helps low-income families afford internet access. So that's some of the new stuff. News Observer's got some details about that. Andre, you got a great question. Yes, I want to go back to our situation at Merlo Beach because she brings up a good point. Yes, will the new jug handle bridge help the problem or assist in preventing the South Beach cutoff? It will, at least at the Merlo Beach spot, because obviously this is going to bypass Merlo Beach. The jug handle bridge that's being built in Rodanthe. And let's see, get our latest update that came through. Yes, the jug handle bridge will help the situation at Merlo Beach because it will at least bypass that area of North Rodanthe, the S-turns area. The jug handle bridge is currently on track for opening sometime early next year. It was down on Hatteras this past week, driving back on Friday evening, right at sunset. You can really see the beams have not met yet. There is one more section of beams to be put in place, and then the bridge itself, just the bridge structure, will be touching. Right now the trestle is touching, but the bridge itself is still not touching yet. So you don't have the north end, because what they did was they started on the north end and the south end. This is a picture from the south end, and you see here the work that's being done off in the distance. And that's where they're working right now. So when I drove by on Friday, you could see actually the last gap between the bents. Between the bents are the caps and pilings, and then the cap that supports the beams. Those are that one section way out here, about halfway across the bridge, maybe a little bit closer to the north end. That's also left to get the beams in place. Then they're going to put the road deck on. It's still going to be early next year. But yes, it would help with the Merlot Beach section. But obviously, we've still got the Canal Zone, which is that area just south of the Bass Knight Bridge and Oregon Inlet. And then the area that is located near the Pea Island Visitor Center, where it is the road comes literally right up to the ocean. There's not much beach between the ocean and Highway 12 at the Visitor Center. So those two areas are still going to be problems. But this will address the problem that has been there for decades at S-turns coming into Rodanthe. Yes, the Jug Handle Bridge will work that. Still no idea when Highway 12 will be open. Looks like it's going to be at least Tuesday. DOT already said today they're not going to be able to get it open today because, again, we have high tide coming up around midday today, and that's supposed to be the highest tide we've seen so far. So any work that they got done before is all going to get covered back up, but at least they get some of that sand. And that's one thing about it. You're wondering, okay, are they just waiting? No, they're going to be out there trying to push as much as they can, because the more they get pushed out of the way now will make things easier when that high tide comes again. So no idea on officially when Highway 12 will reopen. DOT is anticipating it will be Tuesday at the earliest. But yes, the Jug Handle Bridge would help the situation out immensely there, at least at Merlot. There's a live shot again from Rodanthe right now, just south of the pier. You see the waves breaking up underneath the houses that are right to the south of the pier. I keep going back to it and keep missing when it pans back over to see the pier, because we know the pier, there's at least a little bit of problem about 3/4 of the way out. Here's this live shot from Avon right now. Not nearly as rough there as is Rodanthe. That's very typical. But we do know we've had some overwash come up onto Ocean View Drive and the houses that are south of Avon Pier in the Kennekeet Shores neighborhood. That area, of course, is scheduled for beach nourishment this year, as is Buxton, as is South Nags Head, and then, of course, Kettle Hills, Kitty Hawk, Southern Shores, and Duck. This, of course, obviously pointing out, it's time to get that beach nourishment done again and get those beaches widened out so we won't have as much of a problem. No plans for beach nourishment at Rodanthe because of the Jug Handle Bridge being built. That may change with the next beach nourishment cycle in about 5 years. Not really been a lot talked about what Rodanthe and Waves would be getting with the beach nourishment, if that's going to occur, but we'll see what happens with Avon, which, of course, is scheduled for next spring and summer. Those contracts are let out now, and they should be actually getting the bids back in the next week or so, or 2 weeks. We'll know how much it's going to actually cost for that part for Avon, as well as for Buxton, and then the northern beach towns. The final costs expected to come in. The bidding actually has already been done on that. The bidding for the Rodanthe and the Buxton projects will be coming in soon. The Avon project, of course, being paid for with the tax increase, property tax increase there, and the beach nourishment fund that comes from the occupancy tax. The Buxton project, as well as the South Nags Head project, are all being paid for by FEMA, with a little bit of kick in on the beach nourishment fund, because that was considered damage or loss of sand due to Hurricane Dorian. So they're able to use that federal money to pay for that, for a re-nourishment project. Nothing else new has come across here since we got on the air as far as the situation. We really don't expect more info until things start getting cranked up again with the high tide that's coming up here in just a little bit. So we will take a break, and when we come back, we'll run back through everything. In case you're just joining us here this morning on OBX Today Live, don't go anywhere.
For over 15 years, Gallup Funeral Services Incorporated has been a beacon of light, guiding local families through difficult times. Gallup Funeral Services Incorporated proudly provides all families with compassionate choices for professional funeral care at reasonable prices. Get the answers you need 24 hours a day. No answering services, hidden costs, add-on fees, confusing fine print, or those scary-looking contracts. Remember, Gallup Funeral Services owns and operates the only crematory in Dare County, keeping our cremations affordable and convenient. Gallup Memorial Chapel in Bargo, North Carolina is now open and minutes from Moyock and Elizabeth City. From traditional church services and graveside burials to direct cremations and advanced planning, let Gallup Funeral Services Incorporated light the way for your family. Don't be pressured or confused by the other funeral homes. It's always your choice. Choose Gallup Funeral Services Incorporated. Call Courtney at 252-216-8030 to get a plan started today and visit our new website at gallupfuneralservices.com.
Back one final time on OBX Today Live here on Facebook and YouTube. I'm Sam Walker, and we'll run back through. For those of you just joining us, the latest information is that Highway 12 remains closed until Tuesday due to the severe overwash on the nor'easter this weekend. Another high tide cycle is coming up in about 2 to 3 hours. That's going to bring us another period of ocean overwash. Dune breaches have been reported at Merlo Beach, also at the Pea Island Visitor Center. Overwash also reported in northern Hatteras Village and northern Buxton, as well as Avon along Ocean View Drive. Peak wind gusts out of this, 65 miles an hour is the top wind gust recorded at Jeanette's Pier. Let's see. I'm going to get that chart up that in the National Weather Service at Newport Morehead City did yesterday. Let's see here. Got to pull up the right page. Let me get their Twitter page up to take a look at that, just so I can run through theirs. Got some new photos in this morning from Hatteras, or from DOT, just posted on Twitter. So let me go to those right now and give you an idea. Here's what things look like at Merlo, and you can see that dune breach is much wider. You can also see the bulldozers sitting there. They are working, or they were, but you can see how much that dune is gone here just north of Merlo Beach as you come into Merlo Beach and Rodanthe. Here's another wider shot. There's the Merlo sign. Really big dune breach now that has happened. And again, that is just photos that just came in the last 15 minutes from Merlo Beach, courtesy of NCDOT. Again, Highway 12 is closed from the Bass Knight Bridge to Rodanthe, and travel remains unsafe. And again, it could be Tuesday before they're able to reopen it, as crews need time to safely fix the dunes and protect Highway 12. And they are asking folks to stay off the roads down Hatteras Island because of the situation there. So here's what the National Weather Service is saying this morning. They are talking, looks like high tide around 10 a.m., bringing major impacts similar to Sunday morning. Impacts will be less for subsequent high tides. Moderate to major coastal flooding continues from down east in Carteret County to the Sound Side, Outer Banks south of Cape Hatteras. Conditions should improve later today and tonight. Minor to moderate flooding along the coast of the Crystal Coast and coastal Onslow is expected as well. There's a shot from the camera that doesn't want to work or doesn't seem to want to work from NCDOT. Shows you just south of the breach at Merlo and how much they just repaved this section of Highway 12 on Wednesday. They got a brand new coat of asphalt here. Up to about where the camera is and just past it. And I did notice on the pavement while we were waiting at the flagger was that it says remove pavement pointing north. One thing to note, when the Jug Handle Bridge opens, that's going to be the end of the road that goes to Merlo Beach. It's not going to go any farther. They're going to remove the rest of it. So there won't be an S-turns. Once the bridge is put in place, they're going to take out S-turns. It will no longer exist. You won't be able to drive there. Just thought it was interesting that's on the pavement now. But they did actually put new asphalt down on this section of Highway 12 on Wednesday. through Merlo Beach, through the Merlo Beach neighborhood. And then, of course, there it is, covered with sand already. Hopefully it had time to cure enough that it doesn't get torn up. From what we understand, also, the one thing that gets asked is, this is more of a sand and water on the road than it is any pavement damage. They don't believe the pavement's compromised. One thing about the sand it does do is protect that pavement. But, you get a couple more high tide cycles on that thing. That could cause some issues. So there you go. That's the latest for the National Weather Service as far as the weather goes, the latest from DOT. Here's the wind gust chart that they put together. 67 offshore off Onslow Bay. That's out off the Crystal Coast. 65 was a peak wind gust here. That was Saturday night and Sunday morning. This is through Sunday afternoon with the wind gust. Avon at 64. Oregon Inlet at 58, 57. Avon on the Sound side, 51. The Alligator River Bridge, 53. Nags Head at 50 bucks. These are all the different weather flow sensors and different weather sensors along the Outer Banks. But 65 was the peak wind gust that's been recorded here on the Outer Banks, but 64. So that's about where things were Saturday night and into Sunday morning as far as the winds go. So that's the latest there from the National Weather Service in Newport Moorhead City. All right, so what are we going to do today? We're going to keep an eye on things. We'll jump on board here on Facebook Live on the OBX Today Facebook channel as needed. As we get into the afternoon, we get some more photos and video. So around midday, we'll be back with you with another update. We'll have updates on obxtoday.com throughout the day with new information as it comes in. So that is the latest on what's going on with this coastal system. Thanks for joining us this morning on what's turned into definitely a manic Monday around here. And we'll keep you up to date with the latest here and at obxtoday.com and on Beach 104, Big 94.5 WCMS, 99.1 The Sound and Z92.3. I'm Sam Walker. Have a great Monday, everybody.